Imagine a fleet so massive it blotted out the horizon. 1,800 ships, 70,000 pirates, an armada larger than most national navies. Now imagine it commanded not by an admiral, not by a king, but by a woman who started as a prostitute on a floating brothel. A woman the British Royal Navy feared, the Portuguese dreaded, the Chinese Empire couldn't defeat. She broke their blockades, raided their treasures, executed anyone who defied her iron will. And when they finally realized they couldn't beat her, she walked unarmed into the governor's palace and dictated her own terms of surrender. Full amnesty, all looted wealth kept, noble titles for her officers, and peaceful retirement as a wealthy businesswoman. This isn't myth. This isn't exaggeration. This is the lethal reality of Zhang Yisao, the pirate queen, who commanded the largest pirate fleet in human history. She forced 3 empires to their knees. Her story proves that power isn't about where you start. It's about what you build. And she built an empire on the waves that made the British Empire look weak. Early 1800s, the South China Sea, a crossroads of global trade where fortunes are made and lost on the waves. The woman history will remember as Zhang Yisao. Wife of Zhang Yi begins life at the absolute bottom of society. She works on a floating brothel servicing sailors and pirates. No family connections, no education, no prospects. Then she meets Zhang Yi, a powerful pirate captain commanding the Red Flag Fleet, one of several pirate confederacies operating along the Chinese coast. What happens next is debated. Some sources say he captured her ship and she impressed him so much he proposed. Others say she negotiated her way into marriage by demanding equal partnership. Either way, they marry in 1801, and it's not a traditional marriage. It's a business partnership. She doesn't retire to domestic life. She participates in fleet operations, strategy, logistics, command, and she's brilliant at it. When Zhang Yi dies in 1807, possibly in a storm, possibly in battle, the fleet faces a succession crisis. Multiple captains could claim leadership. The Confederacy could fracture. Instead, Zhang Yisao moves immediately. She consolidates power, forms alliances with key captains, places her adopted son, steps on Zhang Bao in a prominent command position, and assumes overall leadership of the Red Flag Fleet. A woman commanding pirates in early 19th century China. It shouldn't work. Every cultural norm, every social expectation, every precedent says this will fail. It doesn't fail because Zhang Yisao understands something her rivals don't. Organization beats chaos. Discipline beats bravery. Law beats anarchy. She creates a code, a comprehensive legal system for pirate behavior. Rules about division of plunder, about treatment of captives, about desertion and betrayal, about rape which becomes punishable by death in her fleet. Captured ships can be ransomed. Villages that pay tribute are protected. Villages that resist are destroyed. It's brutal, but it's consistent, predictable, and it works. The Red Flag Fleet becomes the most disciplined, most feared pirate organization in Asia, possibly the world. Within 2 years of taking command, she's united multiple rival pirate fleets under her banner. The Red Flag Fleet alone grows to 1,800 ships and 70,000 pirates. For perspective, that's larger than many national navies of the era. Larger than what the British could deploy to the South China Sea. Larger than anything pirates had ever assembled before or since. And she commands all of it. If you're watching this thinking about how someone with literally zero advantages built the largest criminal organization in history through pure strategic genius, smash that subscribe button and like this video. Because Zhang Yisao's story isn't just pirate history, it's a masterclass in organizational leadership, strategic thinking, and leveraging power from absolute nothing. She creates a maritime state. The Red Flag Fleet operates like a government. It has bureaucracy, tax collection, courts, enforcement mechanisms. Coastal villages pay tribute, basically taxes, in exchange for protection. Not just from the Red Flag Fleet, but from other pirates too. She's running a protection racket on an industrial scale. Merchant ships can purchase passes, certificates guaranteeing safe passage. It's expensive, but cheaper than being raided. She establishes intelligence networks, spies in major ports, informants among merchant guilds, contacts in local government. She knows when valuable cargo ships leave port, knows their routes, knows their defenses. Her fleet isn't blindly raiding. It's conducting targeted operations based on intelligence, hitting specific targets with specific goals, maximizing profit while minimizing risk. And the psychological warfare is masterful. Her reputation grows with every raid. Stories spread. Exaggerations multiply. The Red Flag Fleet becomes legendary for its discipline and brutality. Villages surrender without fighting. Merchant ships pay ransoms immediately. Even naval vessels think twice before engaging. Because everyone knows resistance is expensive, compliance is cheaper, and the pirate queen always wins. She's not running a pirate fleet. She's running a maritime empire with a monopoly on violence in the South China Sea. And the established empires in China, British Empire, Portuguese Empire finally realize they have a problem they can't ignore. The Qing dynasty decides enough is enough. The Red Flag Fleet is disrupting trade, threatening imperial authority, making the government look weak. They mobilize the Imperial Navy, professional warships, trained sailors, official blessing. Zhang Yisao sinks them repeatedly. The Qing try blockades. The Red Flag Fleet breaks through. They try bribing other pirate fleets to betray her. The bribes fail. Her organizational structure and code of laws create more loyalty than King Gold can buy. Desperate, the Qing dynasty asks for help. The British Royal Navy, the most powerful naval force on Earth, agrees to assist. So do the Portuguese, a joint multinational force. European naval technology, professional officers, overwhelming firepower against pirates. Led by a woman, operating mostly wooden junks. On paper, it's not even a contest. But Zhang Yisao isn't fighting on paper. She's fighting in the South China Sea. Shallow waters, narrow channels, hidden coves. Terrain she knows intimately and European galleons can barely navigate. She uses fire ships, old vessels filled with explosives and combustibles, set ablaze and sailed into enemy formations. Chaos, panic. Heavy European ships burning and sinking. She uses shallow water tactics, drawing pursuit into areas where deep draft European warships run aground. While her junks maneuver freely, she captures European officers and holds them for ransom. The British Empire paying tribute to pirates. The international humiliation is profound. The joint blockade fails multiple times. The British withdraw. The Portuguese withdraw. The King Navy is exhausted, and Zhang Yisao is still operating, still raiding, still in complete control of her maritime empire. The empires face an uncomfortable truth. They can't beat her militarily. Not without losses they're unwilling to accept, so they have to negotiate. The Qing government sends an offer. Amnesty for Zhang Yisao and her fleet if she surrenders. Standard pirate amnesty terms: surrender, face some punishment, maybe keep your life. She rejects it because she's not negotiating from weakness. She's negotiating from strength. She controls the South China Sea. They need it reopened more than she needs amnesty. She sends counter-demands. Full amnesty, no punishment whatsoever. She keeps all looted wealth. Her officers receive noble ranks in the Qing military. She gets to choose which of her pirates receive amnesty and which don't, giving her power over their fates. The king balk. These aren't surrender terms. This is a victor's treaty. Negotiations stall. The war continues. More king defeats, more economic damage, more imperial humiliation. Finally, the king realizes they have no choice. Grant her demands, or watch the South China Sea remain closed indefinitely. They agree to everything. And then comes the most audacious moment in the entire story. Zhang Yisao walks into Governor General Bai Ling's office, personally, to finalize the agreement. She's unarmed, in enemy territory, surrounded by Qing officials who have every reason to arrest or kill her. But she walks in knowing something they know. She's won. Completely, utterly, and they need this peace more than she does. She dictates terms, not from a position of surrender, but of negotiated settlement between equals. The final agreement is stunning. Full amnesty for her and 17,318 of her pirates. She personally keeps 226 junks. All looted wealth estimated at massive fortunes remains hers. Zhang Bao receives a commission in the Qing Navy. She receives money and titles. She's not being punished. She's being paid to stop. It's the most successful pirate retirement in history. Blackbird died in battle. Captain Kidd was hanged. Henry Morgan got pardoned but died broke. Zhang Yisao negotiated from strength and walked away wealthy, honored, and free. After 1810, Zhang Yisao retires. She opens a gambling house in Canton, runs it successfully for decades, possibly remarries, lives peacefully. She dies around 1844, possibly in her 60s or 70s. Of natural causes, wealthy, respected, having outlived all her enemies. No dramatic death at sea, no execution, no betrayal, just peaceful, prosperous retirement. It's the perfect ending to an impossible story, and her legacy resonates. She commanded more pirates than any leader in history. She defeated 3 empires simultaneously. She created organizational systems that kept 70,000 criminals disciplined and loyal. She negotiated the most favorable pirate amnesty ever recorded. She proved that power isn't about nobility or gender or birthright. It's about strategy, organization, and the willingness to take what's yours. Modern popular culture rediscovers her repeatedly. She appears in Pirates of the Caribbean as Mistress Ching. Books, films, games all recognize her as the ultimate pirate because her story is unmatched. No male pirate comes close. Not Blackbird, not Captain Kidd, not Henry Morgan. None of them commanded 1,800 ships. None defeated multiple empires. None negotiated total amnesty with full wealth retention. Zhang Yisao remains the most successful pirate in history, and she succeeded precisely because she understood something her rivals didn't. True power isn't about having the most ships or the most guns. It's about having the best organization, the clearest rules, the strongest discipline, the smartest strategy, and the absolute refusal to accept that someone like her couldn't command an empire. She looked at every barrier: gender, class, education, social norms, and decided they didn't apply to her. And she was right. The British Empire bent. The Qing dynasty negotiated. The Portuguese withdrew. The merchant guilds paid tribute. Because when you control the sea, you control the world. And for a decade, the pirate queen controlled the South China Sea absolutely. That's not just history, that's legend.